what's going on, everybody? It's Charlie. I'm here with Smoked Outdoors. We're going to go over something that's overlooked a lot, but is responsible for a lot of trophy bucks being killed. This is a muzzle loader. This one here was gifted to me by somebody. Before this one, I had one of the old school models that you put the cap on, cock the hammer. It looks like something that the British used to use, and Daniel Boone and them. But the new ones they got now, like this, I mean, these things are amazing. They're just like a rifle, basically. They shoot really, really nice. They're quick to load. I'm glad I got one of my trophy bucks this year with it, and I wouldn't have if I didn't have a muzzle loader. But anyway, we'll do a quick review over it. This is a Thomson Center Triumph. It's a really awesome one. This thing, like I said, it's basically a 50 caliber rifle. Not real great for shots over 100, 150 yards. I mean, you can dial them in to make them shoot farther than that, but they're pretty much made for shorter range, which, as far as here, it's pretty cool because muzzleloader here comes in right after bow season, so it's kind of like a transition into the rifle season, and it's nice the freedom that you get. I bow hunt a lot, and you're set up on trying to get deer within 20, 30 yards of you, and a lot of stuff, and you might see some stuff off in the distance, or you got some of them that come in and it's like they almost know where your range is, and they want to stick just right on the outside of it, and then when it switches over, you got a chance at taking some of them. And it also comes in right around rut time, so when it comes in and rut starts and your muzzleloader season starts at the same time, I mean, you got a good chance of getting a pretty one. This one here, though, I've had nothing but good things to say about it. I love it. It's a really nice looking gun. I really like the finish on it and stuff. It's really pretty looking gun. And it shoots really nice. They're fun to shoot. It's got a cool sound. The cool side and the bad side to it is you shoot and this big cloud of smoke comes out, and the wind wafts the smoke away, and there's your deer sitting there, and you're, yeah. But the bad side is sometimes that smoke clears, and you're like, I don't know where it's at. So you're like, did it go this way, that way? Did I miss? But it's all part of the challenge, and that's what makes it so fun. If all this stuff was super easy, it just wouldn't be fun because there'd be no challenge to it. But this here, anyway, a quick review is, you load this thing just like the old school ones that you've seen in the movies or whatever. If you don't know anything about muzzleloader, got a handle that goes on here. I have a bag that I keep. This is a great idea. Keep all your muzzleloader stuff in here. Somebody told me about it, and I was like, that's a good idea. I keep all my muzzleloader stuff in here. This will go in my hunting closet. Next year when I pull this out, I'll double check it, and all my muzzleloader stuff will be in here. But anyways, we'll get down to what we do here. And you get a handle, it'll screw onto here. And then you got a cedar and a wad pushing tip. And what they're for is, one's for seating your bullet and the other's for cleaning. This here's for cleaning. I'll screw that on there, on this end, like so, and then you got wads, these little wads here, and you saturate them. I use this Thundercloud bore cleaner. This stuff is awesome. I mean, this gun had issues with powder buildup in it, and I started using that, and it's like the first wad instantly just breaks it down and lets everything go past. So, but anyway, you take those, you hold your gun up. I'll saturate it in this Thundercloud bore cleaner, and I'll run that right down into the barrel, and I'll usually, I put the wad on there, like this. And then you put it just like that, and you run that down. I'm not going to do it because I just thoroughly clean this because muzzleloader's over, and I clean it really, really good before I start rifle season. The last day of muzzleloader, I usually come home and sit down out here and clean it really well. But you put that wad on, you run this down through there, and what I'll do is I'll start working it like this at a fast pace and working it down in there as I go until I can bottom it out. And then, you know, you pull it back out, and that wad's going to be just covered in powder and nastiness. And you have to do that. I usually saturate like 2, maybe 3 of them, depending on how sticky it feels, like if there's still a lot of stuff in there. With this stuff, it's usually just like 2, though. Then I'll run a couple dry ones, and then I'll saturate it, run it again. And then I'll run some dry ones until it looks clean and dry, until these wads are coming back out white. And to seed it, you've got, this is a red one. These come in the little packets here with these newer bullets that I'm using to have a sabot already attached to the bullet. I'll go over that real quick here in a second. And that seeds it. And what I do for that, because sometimes I run different powder, you know, that way if you run different powder or a different bullet, I usually use about the same powder on all my rounds. So it's more so for the different bullets that I'm using, because the bullets are different lengths. They're going to seat at different depths. And I take my knife and I'll mark lines on here, and I know which one of these lines is for which kind of ammo I'm using. So that way I know that that's seated all the way when I shove that down. You know, if I shove it down and it's way up like that, I know that bullet's not down all the way on the powder, and that will really affect your shot. I mean, it'll way off. So that's a little trick that I learned from some of my buddies, and you know, it's good to know. And sorry about the kids in the room fighting. They're in the living room fighting in another room right now. And these here, these are really cool. I got this on discount for like $13. I went in Walmart and looked in the aisle. They're like 20 or 30 bucks or something now. But these are really cool. What you do with these is, I would have had a pretty buck last year if it wasn't for not having myself prepared. That's what it boils down to. I wasn't prepared and I screwed up. But this, what you do with these, I'll put my bullet in there, and then I run 130 grains of powder, and then I'll put, you know, two of these 50s and one of these 30s in this on top of that bullet, and you put this cap on there and put it in that gun strap. And what happens is you shoot, and then instead of like messing around with all this stuff trying to get your rounds ready, you got this ready. You just take it, boom, dump the powder, and the bullet will come out and sit right on there just like that. Ram it down in there, and you're ready to go. So big time saver. You're not making a whole bunch of noise by moving around and opening packets and this and that and everything else. And you don't run the risk of doing what I did last year. Is I shot a buck in the middle of the field. I didn't know about spine shock at the time. Drop, slam down instant. So I thought I had it. Sent my wife a picture of him laying in the field, said another buck down, all this stuff, talking all this trash. Well, I went to dig in my bag, I couldn't find the saddle.